Welcome, ladies, gentlemen, and everyone else, to a video that I thought was going to be much longer, but it's actually going to end up being pretty short. Essentially, today we're going to be covering the new stripes on the LGBT pride flag, or more specifically, the stripes that serve as an addition to the flag, sort of a different rendition of the original flag. Now, I covered this very quickly in the very first episode of the Equality News Weekly, which I'll probably change the name of, but whatever, go ahead and check it out up there. But it's kind of interesting because basically everyone I talked to, whether they were a person of color, Caucasian, whatever, basically all races agreed that it's sort of an unnecessary thing to do, and that it essentially adds an exclusivity factor to something that was previously all-inclusive. And like I said in the last video, I'm in complete support of people of color. I think it's very reasonable to point out the inequalities that they face even today and battle those inequalities, but I feel like this isn't the way to do it. Now, to be fair, the Philly Office of LGBT Affairs Director Amber Hikes did mention that this is a local initiative to fight local problems. I think that's probably the most important fact you can look at in this entire situation, because a lot of people think that it's just a replacement for the flag or an official addition to the flag, when really it's just a local initiative. Some of the problems that a lot of people have with the flag are that none of the other stripes are representative of race or even specific sexualities or gender identities. The 8 colored stripes of the original pride flag included pink that represented sex, red for life, orange for healing, yellow for sunlight, green for nature, blue for art, indigo for harmony, and violet for the human spirit. Later, pink and indigo were removed for, one, production costs and the aesthetic look of the flag. This raises many people's concerns because adding stripes that are representative of race just doesn't fit in with the rest of the flag's meaning. It is also a little sad that this change is coming after Gilbert Baker's death, the original creator of the LGBT pride flag, and he only died about 2 months ago on March 31st of this year. Charlie Beale, a friend of Gilbert Baker, responded to this new addition to the flag by saying, quote, "The stripes were not chosen for skin color. They were chosen to reflect the spectrum of color in nature." Now, I asked you guys in the previous video and on my Instagram what everyone thought about the new pride flag, and everyone basically said that it's a little bit strange to add exclusivity and a factor of race into something that was previously all-inclusive. But I did get some really unique and interesting responses. One person actually mentioned it could drag unwanted attention to people who are already sort of at a double disadvantage, being a person of color and a person in the LGBTQ community. A few people over on my Instagram actually mentioned it's kind of unfair to acknowledge the fact that people of color are getting unfair treatment even within their own community, the LGBTQ community, when other sub-minorities are also getting treated unfairly, such as LGBTQ Christians or LGBTQ people of any faith. Or, for example, asexuals are usually not accepted as a part of the LGBTQ community. To wrap things up, I think it's very important to, one, recognize that this was a local Philly initiative for local Philly problems. And two, do not think just because someone doesn't like the new flag that means they're racist. It most likely doesn't, and I say that for 2 reasons. First off, most of the people I've talked to, well, actually all the people I've talked to who were against the flag, didn't do it because they were against people of color, or because they hated black people, or because they were racist. It's just because of some of the things I mentioned earlier. And I also say that because, at least in my experience and from what I've seen, you're not going to hate on another minority if you're in a part of a minority, because you understand what it's like to be mistreated. And I'd also say, don't assume that because someone supports the flag and thinks those who oppose it are racist, that doesn't mean they're racist. And you might be kind of confused when I say that, but I'm saying that because I've heard many people say, I don't understand why they're only putting stripes on there for people of color. Why not white people? Why not Asian people or Hispanics or whatever? And it's sort of like a thing of, are you saying that black lives are more important within the LGBT community? And I really hope people recognize that that's not the case either. That's not what they're doing. They're just trying to recognize the problems that they see, and in my opinion, they're not doing it in the best way they could. But that doesn't mean that they think black lives are more important than others. Anyways, I really need to wrap this video up because honestly, I have no idea what I'm talking about anymore. I've had to repeat my lines like a bajillion times, including this outro. But if you like crude humor and stupid video games, go check out my personal YouTube channel. And if you like really cute photos of my cool face, then check out my Instagram right there. Or as always, to DM me about the topics discussed in this video. A new LGBTQ news, I don't know what I'm going to call it. I'm still figuring that out. It will be coming out either today or tomorrow. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss anything. Peace out.